Hey everybody, happy Monday. Did not forget to unmute this time, so congratulations to me. Well, successful stream already. Welcome to the stream. I hope everybody had a great weekend and happy Monday. Hello, what's up, Christian? Welcome in, everybody. Come on in. I believe we have 7 lists today. Very excited. There's a good variety, and I think I promised that there's actually a good variety this time. Maybe some invasion, some synaptic. Oh, maybe not synaptic actually. Vanguard for sure. Crusade list too. Oh, warrior list. So the new detachment warrior list. We'll go over a list like that as well. Very cool. How's everybody doing? Hanging out? Doing good in chat? If you're new, if this is your first stream, or if you're watching back when it is posted later as a VOD, I'm just gonna quickly go over how to post your army list. If you would like for your army list to be reviewed by me, you need to go onto our YouTube channel, subscribe. It would be amazing if you would do that, and then go to our community tab that you just gonna have to scroll a little bit this way or whatever. And then I've created a thread that says, hello, everyone. This is where you should post your Tyranid list or whatever, something like that. Go ahead and copy and paste your Tyranid list in there as a comment, and then I'll get to it eventually. The way we do things here is I do kind of share a little bit, I lean a little bit towards members. So I do give them a little bit of priority, but then everyone else will eventually be reviewed as well. So yeah, something the YouTube suggested I try with super chat goals. No pressure, don't worry. I don't, whatever. It said new super chat goal for YouTube people. So I was like, okay, let's try it. So I thought if we get 5 super chats during the stream, we'll make a list together off of a stipulation that chat wants, you know. And knowing our chat, it's probably going to be like 4 Molochs. So if that's something you want to see, go ahead and super chat. It would be awesome to get that goal going. But no worries if it doesn't happen. Happy we're all here and hanging out together. We got 10 people already. Very cool. I'm gonna go ahead and start. You know, thanks, Wargamer Willie. It's good to see you. All right, so let's make sure I'll scroll all the way back up and see. Okay, cool. First list. Perfect. This is Akin. He's a member. Thank you for being a member. We really appreciate the support. He says, my friends are on the more competitive level, me too, and I've been playing Vanguard Onslaught and trying to shove warriors in there, as well as trying them in Synaptic Nexus to mild success, only having problems with getting him into the range as Foliant. I edited this recently. You may be able to tell where this is going. Okay, so it's Warrior Bioform Onslaught. All right, awesome. My plan is 2 big melee warrior units. One is reserved for counterpunch. The other is my distraction. The ranged warriors are only there to strip cover for my big guns Lictor, plus Maleceptor, watch my safe objective Exocrines, and Stripes. Keep the center objective. That's probably a typo. Clear, the free Lictor is an action monkey, while the Gaunts do move blocking and OC denial. I like that. Update, I played 3 games against Death Guard, Imperial Knights, and Grey Knights, been 1-2. Beat Knights, had too much trouble getting to the Grey Knights, yeah. And the Death Guard was a wet noodle fight while Mortarion sat on the center objective all game. Yeah, that does sound like that could be tough. All right, so it's Warrior Bioform Onslaught. If you're not familiar, this is the Grotmus calendar detachment. It's Oops, all warriors. If you want to see what I think about the detachment, I actually dropped a video on it recently. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty sweet. My only one question is, like, sometimes invasion might just be doing it better. But if you lean into the warrior aspect, then there's definitely some really cool things you can get. You get OC3, of course, with your warriors. They have a 5-up invuln, and then there's other buffs like the stripping of the cover, like he was talking about before. All right, let's look at this. We've got Hive Tyrant, and it looks like he's fully melee. Very sweet. Hey, what's up, Jaldrin? And then we have Winged Tyranid Prime, Sensory Assimilation. I think that's the +1 to hit. And then elevated might is the advance and charge. Okay, so we're looking 2 melee bricks. We have 1 gargoyle, 1 hormagaunt, 2 hormagaunts rather, termagant squad, biovore, double exocrine just started raining outside, double lictor, maliceptor. Then here are the melee bricks. Oh, 3 melee bricks. Okay, so this is a 3-man. And then we have 1 ranged brick. Okay, cool. Awesome. And then the venom tropes as well. I think, what am I thinking? I think we honestly have too much of this. I think we have a little bit too much Gribblies. In my opinion, and I've only been able to play 1 game with the Warrior Onslaught detachment. I think it's pretty cool. However, I get the feeling that you're gonna want like a critical mass of the stuff that the detachment likes. Like I feel like you want to start with 3x6 melee warriors and then kind of go from there. I'm okay with the one of the range because, like what he said before, it's just to strip cover off, and it doesn't really do anything else besides that. They have a 5-up invul, and you can regrow them, but Venomthropes I like as well. But after like thinking about it a little bit too, if your warriors are out in the open and they can be hit, I don't know if I'm super excited, but I think we'll keep the Venomthropes for sure. Maliceptor I absolutely love. I think Maliceptors fit very well into Warrior Onslaught. Oh, what a surprise. Somebody who plays Tyranids thinks Maliceptors are good. Okay, cool. So what I think my first inclination is I want to cut 2 Gribbly squads. So I think we're going to start with 1 Termagant and then 1 Hormagant squad. So that's going to put us at 125 points that we can play with. I just think from my experience deploying and playing this army, it is a huge traffic jam of like infantry models. And just having more Gribblies like that are really not, it is really kind of tough to just have everything in one spot. And I know we're rapid ingressing with one of the melees, and I really like that idea. I think that's awesome. However, with how high the OC is on the Warriors, I just think we're not really going to need that necessarily. One more thing that I think I would, and I know we're probably worried about like anti-tank, and that's probably why we have this Tyrannifex here. But I don't know, like with Tyranid Warriors, they can get to like strength 7, and then with Twin Link, they can probably take out quite a bit of tanks and knights and stuff. And so like this is one of the detachments where I really, I think I'm more honestly okay-ish on the 3 damage guns, like the Maliceptor and double Exocrine. However, you can also make the argument that do we need a Maliceptor if we have the Venomthropes because of the -1 to hit? And that might be pretty cool. What's up, Pulp? Good to see you, man. Okay, well, let's take a look as if there's anything else we want to cut. I think things we want immediately add, I think we want a 3rd melee warrior brick. So that's going to be 75 and then 65. So that's 140 points that we need to do. So we need to have 15 more points at least. Okay. I think we're going to have to end up cutting one of the big monsters. But if we cut a monster, I also kind of want to like have a monster too. That makes sense. We also still want to make use of the Hive Tyrant. So we want to have the advance and shoot. So we're still using like the ooh, Pulp. There's your list. We still want to have the gunboat. I think I'm going to lean towards what I kind of felt. And I kind of feel like we kind of want to jam in the middle. Jamming in the middle with some Maliceptors seems pretty sweet. So, oof, I cannot believe that I'm like really thinking about cutting a Tyranifex. I could cut a Tyranifex. I think, yeah, I think we cut a Tyranifex. All right, this might shape up actually pretty quickly. So we cut a, let's do this. So I think I said I needed 140 points because of 65 off of the Winged Prime, and then 75 off of the second set of Warriors, which would be 140. So that means this would be negative 15. Very cool. And then when we cut this, then that would leave us at 175 points. 175 points. So this is going to be 150 here. 150, and then this is going to be just times 6. I'm just going to do this times 6, and then we are going to do another prime here. Winged Tyranid Prime. Okay. And then last but not least, we're going to add another Maliceptor, and then it's going to be at 170 points. And so I think we should be at 1995. I need to get Warriors. Tyranid players, like what was it, like December 4th or something when it dropped? Like everybody just buys Tyranid Warriors. Okay, so then we have 5 points left over. Before I move on to any other lists, let me talk about what I'm thinking. So the strat for +2 strength to pop on Exos. Yeah, exactly, Malevolent Swarm. And thank you for confirming my my thoughts too. I love Tyranifexes. I went to an RTT this weekend. I took 2 and they did really, really well. However, I just think in this, did I cut it? Yeah, this is cut. You can have strength 12 Maliceptors, which like, oh my gosh, it's incredible. You can also have strength 11 Exocrines. So like double Exocrine, double Maliceptor is just gross. Things that I like, I want to see tried out, but maybe shifted, is the Venomthropes. I'm really interested to see where they're at, because the Venomthropes actually don't add anything too much to our monsters. Lictors already have stealth. So there's, you know, we have 5 points left over. So things you could do, I think swapping out the Venomthropes to Raveners could be pretty cool, just so you have an uppy downy thing, and it can be kind of sweet. I don't know. But going from top to bottom with this list, we have the Hive Tyrant with Monstrous Bone Sword, Lash Whip, and the Scything Talons. I'd be interested to see why Scything Talons. I feel like people who do the double melee oftentimes have a pretty good reasoning behind it. I personally like the Venom Cannon, just so I can get some chip shots at, downfield. My Venom Cannon has killed quite a bit of things in the games that I've played. Kills rhinos, finishes off a couple of wounds on like transports or something to allow the rest of your guns to shoot the gooey stuff inside. I'm definitely a heavy Venom Cannon stan on the Hive Tyrant. Then we're going to have triple Winged Prime. I really did like your thought process of one of these and reserves to rapid ingress. This might be a weird take, but I might actually think about the advance and charge. Go check out the stream that we did on this. It's the most recent Tyranids versus Death Guard. Did really well. Lots of views, lots of interaction on that one. I actually played my advance and charge warriors back quite a bit because I knew that I was going to stage them and then shoot them out as like a missile. But to each their own. I definitely wouldn't throw out warriors in the first or second turn. I definitely think you want to trade up a whole bunch with warriors, because they are, even with the 5-up invuln, they are very fragile. Okay, cool. So then we have Hormagaunts and Gargoyles. Another thing, if we could maybe turn that Hormagaunt squad into a Gargoyle squad, that could be cool. That is kind of just like my catchphrase is 2 Gargoyle squads. That's what you start with. Biovore, double Exocrine, Lictor, double Maliceptor, 3 melee warriors, Venomthropes, and then the 3-man ranged. I think this is sweet. And I'm going to be honest with you. I know there's some crazy lists running around with like 72 warriors. Good for you. I'm not sure I kind of like this combined arms kind of style where we have like the Tyranid gunboats, the Maliceptors and Exocrines that are helping out from afar, and then the Tyranid warriors clogging up the center. So that's kind of what I like. Um, that's fun. That's cool. I'm gonna mention one more time our super chat goal. Again, just trying it out. YouTube told me to do this, but if we reach 5 super chats, I would love to create a list with chat during this stream. I think it's like the teal color super chat. I'm not really sure how any of it works. I'm going to be honest with you guys, but if you want to create a list with us on stream, that'd be awesome. If we don't make it this week, but we get 1 or 2, I'll roll it over to the next stream that we have, and we can just, once we reach that 5 super chat goal, then we'll make a list together. It'll be fun. It'll be cool. All right, here's Pulp. Oh, Akin. He's right here. Wow, incredible. Thanks for being in chat. I was looking for the 2 gargoyles from you. Thanks a ton for the review. Thanks a ton for the super chat. Thanks for being in chat, and I really appreciate you submitting the list, because believe it or not, folks, the stream doesn't happen if the community doesn't submit lists. So I really thank you guys for putting it out there. And Akin, I think it is actually a really cool list. It's pretty close to what I would run with just a couple of those shifts. And then I hope those last flex spots with the Venomthropes or the Raveners. Yeah. Akin, how have the Venomthropes been for you? If you're still hanging out in chat, let us know, because I would be interested to try them out as well. We have Pulp. Pulp is next. I think Pulp was in chat. Let's take a look at what he's got. He says, looking to build a list for Old One Eye as I have him, but haven't played him yet. Feel like Invasion is the way to go, but willing to, awesome, Pulp, to switch attachments if I'm wrong. Overall feel that the list is okay, but I just feel a little bit light on activations for achieving secondaries. Okay, I got Invasion on my mind. Incredible. Thank you for the incredible list title. It is Invasion Fleet, like he was talking about. We have the Hive Tyrant with Heavy Venom Cannon, Bone Sword, Lash Whip, Neuro Tyrant, and then Old One Eye, like he was talking about. He went up 10 points. That's right. Okay. So we got Gargoyles, Hormagaunts, Biovores, double Carnifexes with, I think that's the correct loadout. That's what I've been doing. They saved me versus Knights once. They were useless versus Death Guard, though, so almost as swingy as Tyranofex used to be. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then if you are going the double Maliceptor route, I would maybe think about switching them for like Raveners or another scoring piece, like even another Lictor or something like that. Could be very useful. I don't know, because if you're into if you go into Tau, Venomthropes are just demolish them, like for real. -1 to hit for Tau is just terrible, because then it offsets their guiding or whatever. But otherwise, we'll see. Okay, so we have Carnifexes, double Exocrine, Lictor, Maliceptor, Pyrovores, Raveners, Tyranofex. All right, so let's look at scoring pieces. We have Raveners. I do love Raveners. I actually kind of include Pyrovore as a scoring unit too. We have 2 Lictors, Hormagaunts, and Gargoyles. So 1, 2, I guess Biovore. 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So Pulp, what I'm thinking is, I think it's good. I think if, you put Pyrovores as scoring too. Awesome. I think if, what was I trying to say? I think if you recognize that you have low number of scoring units and you are just more careful with those scoring units, than you are if you're just throwing them out to move block and stuff, I think 6 scoring units is probably okay. My list that I ran this weekend had 2 Gargoyles, 2 Lictors, Von Ryans, and just a Biovore, I think. Something like that. Yeah, so that's only 6. So I think it's fine as well. But let's take a look at the core of it. Pyrovore, Lictor, Exocrine, Hormagaunts, Gargoyles. Yeah, Pope. Honestly, I ran a list very similar to this. The only thing that I could see, no, I like the list. I'm trying to like nitpick. Um, I like the armor instead of the bioweapon, but that's not really anything too crazy. Lictor, Excrin, Carnifexes, Hormagaunts. If we could, I think it would be interesting since we're light on scoring pieces to make this a gargoyle squad. So just so that they can for sure get somewhere. And then of course I think you need to deploy it and kind of figure out where everything is going to go because all of this actually takes up quite a bit of real estate with especially when you have double Carnifexes and old One Eye. And I think the truth of it is if you're playing the old One Eye brick, I think it is excellent and Invasion is the right choice for sure. I think you do just kind of have to understand that you're going to be light on scoring pieces because the old One Eye brick is a fifth of your list if you think about it because it's still around 400 points and that's a fifth of your list and it really has to pull its weight or else it's not, you know. And then another thought is, are you planning on reserving old One Eye's brick or are you just trundling up the board? I'm going to be honest. I think just moving them up the board for a couple of turns is pretty good, especially because then you can get the Lethal's aura from the Hive Tyrant and then sustained if you're doing that as well. So Pulp, move up the board. I think so too. I think that's what I like. I put him in reserve a couple of times and just bringing him out feels really, really rough because like the thought is to rapid ingress, right? But also it is so easy to screen 3 Carnifexes. So it's kind of like, woof. So only thing I would think about, maybe switching out the Pyrovore and just having an awkward point total to be up here with Hormagaunts changing to Gargoyles. But before you do that, I would play at least 3 or 4 games and see how everything chugs. Because I played a stream against Mike's Thousand Suns with a list very, very similar to this. I think I did find points for two Gargoyles instead of a Gargoyle Hormagaunt. But yeah, just play it. Oh, I think what I did is I dropped the Raveners. So if you dropped Raveners, if you dropped these guys, so it'd be 55. So 95. What did I have for 95 points instead? Oh, you know what? It was triple Gargoyle. That's what I did. So I dropped these guys, and then I had 95 points, and the list was at 1990. So instead of these two, I upgraded the Hormagaunts to Gargoyles, and then I just put in another Gargoyle squad. And that's what I ran. I thought it was fine. Thinking drop Pyrovore, get Gargs over Hormagaunts, drop Engagement down to the reroll, and then get the reroll and redeploy enhancement. Yeah, I like Alien Cunning too. I think your thought process is pretty sound, man. I think either way it's good. I ran this list with triple Gargoyle instead of these 2 pieces, but these 2 pieces are really good as well. So a lot to think about. Again, I think you should play a couple games with this and kind of maybe take notes or just mental thoughts about how everything flows and then go from there. We'll see, you know? All right, sweet. But Pulp, as always, thank you so much for your support. Glad to have you as a member and good list. Yeah, absolutely, man. All right. Next up, we are on to our non-members. I think Malevolent Swarm, you posted one, but I think I did yours last week. So I did want just 1 week of buffer before another list of yours. Sorry about that, but I just trying to spread the love a little bit. But I did see your list. I think it looked cool. I didn't look at it too much though. Okay. Anyway, here is Lapis Stud Muffin. Love the channel, very spicy. Here's my list. I've had a lot of success with the acid spray so far, just parking him in midboard and overwatching. But I recognize the strength of having 2 casino cannons, not sure what to do. Well, just buy another Tyranifex, right? No, let's take a look. I can see the value in dropping the warriors in prime for 3 more Neurothropes, but then fear my team will be too shooty skewed. On the other hand, I could remove the prime by himself, and I think I could fit in a Neurolictor. But I don't know, man. Brain hurt too much. Yeah, it does sometimes. Thanks for the time, man. Keep up the top shit. Great. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. We're invasion. Cool. Characters we've got Broodlord, perfectly adapted. Hey, there he is. Hive Tyrant, adaptive biology, of course. Narrow Tyrant, and Winged Prime. Okay, cool. So we have double gargoyles, great. Biovore, Gene Stealers, Lictor. 3-man melee, the channel mascot, yes. 3 Zoanthropes, double Exocrine, Maliceptor, Tyrannifex. Okay, and then we're at Acid Spray and then Rupture Cannon. All right. So I think the main thing that kind of jumps out to me is we have these 2 units who are half of what their maximum squad size could be. And in my opinion, if we're running these to run them with a character, I think they should be at the maximum size to, give the benefits, whether it's not the Winged Prime for sustained hits and that little extra movement because of his leapfrog shenanigans, or if it's the Neuro Tyrant with a +1 to hit. I really think we're going to need to start by kind of deciding which one of those squads we're going to kind of take out. And I think he said, I could see the value in dropping the Warriors in Prime for 3 more Neurothropes, Zoanthropes probably, but then I fear my team will be too shooty skewed. All right, so check it out. Tyranid is right now primarily, I think, a shooting army. So we're going to be a little bit shooty skewed. I think we're going to go and agree with you. I think we're going to drop the Prime and the Warriors. So 75 plus 65, that's going to be 140 points first before we look at anything else. I see, is it Gargoyle and Termagants? Okay, cool. And then I honestly believe that this list is not far off. Who is this? Lapis Stud Muffin, excellent name. I actually don't think that this list is very far off from being quite strong, because it's tough. I say that and then I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's just kind of my list that I've run, which is a pretty bog standard Tyranid list right now. But it's run because it's good, So I think we're deciding Zoanthropes, right? 6 Zoanthropes, and that'll be 200 points. And then we have 40 points to play with because Zoanthropes are 100. Boop. Let's see. We have adaptive biology. Okay. If we have 35, is he right at 2,000 points? Yeah. Oh, and then he's also asking about the acid spray. So here's the thing, Stud Muffin, and he's doing acid spray for Overwatch. If you do invasion with 6 Zoanthropes and the Neuro Tyrant, in my opinion, that Overwatch is stronger than the Malevolent Swarm. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. I think that the Zoanthrope Brick Overwatch is stronger, if not as good as Tyrannifex Acid Spray. So, I think you don't need to worry about that too much. We have 40. Thanks again, Malevolent Swarm. Appreciate the support, dude. So yeah, that would be just 3 more super chats, and then we'll write a list on stream. So I would probably run Rupture Cannon. Rupture Cannon for sure on that. And then this, in my opinion, has got to be Gargoyles. Oh, so it's 25, so that means we have 15. Okay, I think I know what we could do. Gargoyles, and that's 85 points. So that means we had to do 25 points. So that means we're at 15. All right, and so here's going to be my little moment of advertisement for the Alien Cunning. So what I'm probably going to suggest is, since we have 15 points left over, I would probably get rid of Perfectly Adapted and try Alien Cunning out, and that would round us out exactly to 2K, I believe. Alien Cunning is really good because of the fact that you can pull stuff and you can exceed your strategic reserves limit. So you could actually reserve quite a bit of stuff, because normally it's 500 points. But if you strategic reserve like an Exocrine and a Tyranifex and then one Gargoyle Squad, or well, that doesn't really count, or the Zoanthropes or something, then you can do that without really being worried about going over that limit. You can also fake your opponent out while deploying, and kind of maybe aggressively put out some of your gun bugs, and then when at the end of deployment, you could just say, okay, they're going to be in strategic reserves, and maybe it messes up your opponent's game plan just a little bit more. In addition, something that you can do with your infiltrators is your infiltrators can go out and screen the middle so that your opponent can't infiltrate anywhere near your deployment zone with a 9-inch bubble. I like to do this more with Von Ryan sleepers, but it also works with lictors too. You should do an ass swarm list with Norn. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, that would be pretty sick. That would be pretty awesome. Thanks, Chance. I appreciate the support, dude. What was I saying? And then you can redeploy the lictors to a spot that is probably better for your game plan, just like to an expansion objective or something like that, and it would help in that sense. Could be pretty sweet. Alien Cunning is a really good enhancement. I think it's better than people make it out to be, but however, it does take some thought process, and it does kind of you have to plan your list around that. But try it out. Stud Muffin, this was a really good list. I liked it. I thought it was good. Try out those changes if you can. And don't be worried about the Overwatch, because the Zoanthrope brick is just going to destroy people in Overwatch for sure. All right. Joshua Madrid, 7510. I want to run this Crusher Stampede list, but I'm worried I'm spending too many points on double tyrants. I would agree. I would be worried that you're spending too many points on double tyrants as well, unless you're in Assimilation Swarm, which would be kind of sick. Swarm Lord, boom, Hive Tyrant, and this is Crusher Stampede. Okay, so he's not doing any enhancements. Triple Hormagaunts. I actually love to see that. That's pretty sick. All right, let's see. And he has Biovore, Lictor, Exocrine, Triple Maliceptor, Double Tyranifex. Woo-wee. Okay, so same thing what we were talking about before. This is kind of nuts. This is just like a level of beef that I have not seen before. So Joshua Madrid, the things that I'm wanting to see in a Crusher list is, I don't mind Acid Spray, but I like Acid Spray after the second Rupture Cannon. So I like the combo of 2 Rupture Cannons and then an Acid Spray. And then that is, I feel like, a really, really tough combo. Then you also have Triple Maliceptor to just kind of dominate the center of the board. This is kind of sweet. All right. I do think that Triple Maliceptor is good, but I'm kind of interested in Triple Exocrine, because you do get to a point where like the Tyranifexes kind of just want to run up the field. And believe it or not, there's only so much space on a board for Maliceptors, and they do gum up the area, and it can be kind of tough to like navigate stuff around. So things that I'm going to suggest we do is, I'm probably actually going to agree with your sentiment. I'm thinking we're going to drop the Hive Tyrant. So that's going to be 235 points. 235 points. And then let's try. Ooh, this could be actually pretty sweet. So what we could do is, I think you should try this as a Rupture Cannon, but let's see what we can do. 2 things we can do. We can drop a Maliceptor to add to our point total to get a 3rd Tyranifex and then maybe a 3rd Exocrine. Or we could like trade this Maliceptor out to a Trigon, which I think, actually, I don't like the Trigon anymore in Crusher Stampede because of the 3-inch deep strike rule. Not that I liked that rule at all. I just think that now that it is limited to 6 inches, that means you can't steal points away. And so the cool OC trick on it is not good anymore. So I think what we will end up doing is actually just cutting this Maliceptor, and it's going to just put us at a nice 405 points. Boom, 405 points. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, in my opinion, I like doing this. So that's 190, so 405. Why do I do this to myself? That should be 215 we have left. 215 we have left. Oh my gosh, that is so many points. Crusher Stampede is so cool. I need to run more Crusher Stampede. All right, so the thing that we're worried about a little bit in this list, I think Hormagaunts are sweet. I think they are okay. So let's see if we can first do our third Exocrine and see where that puts us. Boom. Trigon Nerf is tough, Chance. I agree, dude. So 135 points, which should be... Ooh. Is that 80 points? 80 points left over. Okay. And then what we could do... I actually kind of like... There's two things we could do. We could either upgrade one squad here and then do a third Lictor, or we could just do Raveners, 75 points, and then be okay with this. So either of those, I think, would be perfect ways to round out this list. So either one squad of Raveners, or upgrade one of these and then do a third Lictor. Let's say that we just do Raveners. But I definitely think that this is kind of the thing that I love about Tyranids, is because you always get down to this point where it's just beneath 100 points, like 80 or something, and then it there's a bunch of different scoring options that you can choose, and it's just kind of like whatever your flavor of the month is. If you want to do Raveners, if you want to do your Von Ryan's Leapers, etc. It really kind of allows for some really cool list making. So that's what I would do. I would try this out. I think double Hive Tyrant and Crusher Stampede is a little bit too much. So I would try Swarm Lord and then be doing just like a bunch of beef. Triple Exocrine, double Maliceptor, triple Tyrannifex. Sounds incredible. You could do Pyrivore too. As another thing, you could upgrade these two to Gargoyles, and then you could do 40-point Pyrivore too. See? It's just a perfect example of there's multiple different things that you can do at all times. All right, cool. Thanks for submitting the list. That was, who was that? Joshua Madrid. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. This next list, this is kind of interesting. This is Fire Drake. He hangs out in Discord a bunch. Yeah, triple Exocrine and T-Fex is very fun. I played it on Saturday and it was, whew. So this is a Crusade list, and I thought it would be cool to kind of talk about what I maybe thought would be a cool Crusade start, or at least looking at Fire Drakes and kind of seeing where he's going, and then maybe see if we can discuss it a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. Well, two things. First thing, I haven't played too much Crusade. I've played 1 or 2 games this edition. I played a little bit more in 9th edition, not a whole lot, but that was honestly with Blood Angels, not Tyranids. So I'm not an expert at it. And then in addition with Crusade, I think any list that you submit is going to be perfect. I think any list that you submit, yes, that's correct. You should run that for Crusade. Because I feel like that's kind of all that Crusade is about, kind of maybe getting some funky models off of your shelf. Or just playing with some favorites that you have already. I think either way, it is a perfect way to play the game, and it's really fun to see it expanded into that narrative sense. So we are Invasion Fleet, probably kind of, right? Because I think you just change fleets if you want to. We have Hive Tyrant, Winged Hive Tyrant, Stranglethorn. I would probably do the Melee Tyrant, just because I just feel like the Melee Tyrant is able to really just get in there, and then I know the Tyrant Talons are actually okay. Let's see what the Tyrant Talons do. I think they're like 6 attacks or something. At like 8 minus 1, 2. Something. I could have just totally made that up. Hive Tyrant. Tyrant. 5 attacks, 8 -2/2. Or 7 -2/2. It's 8 because of the synapse. So yeah, that's actually not terrible, but I still think that you should probably just do melee. I know that's lame, but whatever. I mean, Stranglethorn is actually a pretty good weapon. It's not bad. And I think you are one of the Stranglethorn stands that I see in Discord sometimes. It's not bad. It's a good weapon. 2 10-man Termagants, triple Lictor, Biovore, Tyranids with ranged bioweapons. Oh, and that's it. Okay, cool. So things that I would do for Crusade, and I think the coolest part about Crusade is kind of leveling up your guys and kind of having like a little bit of variety, kind of having like different things that you can exchange. Waffle said triple Biowar, stop the presses. But what I would probably suggest is maybe a little bit more variety in your Crusade stuff, you know, and I'll go back to what I said before. Whatever you submitted is perfect. And if you want to run that, you should. But, oh, is it triple Biovore? Oh, wow. It is triple Biovore. Hats off to you. Yeah, that's something. That's pretty sick. So you're going to be shooting out 3 Spore Mines. Honestly, Biovores actually do some damage too. So if you have like 3 D3 blast weapons that are going into stuff, it can get up there. That's sick. Okay, definitely run this. That sounds amazing. But I definitely would think, like, I know I love triple Lictor too, but maybe 1 or 2 Lictors so that you have a variety in case your league expands or shrinks. You know, in case there's like a 500-point game, you only play 1 or whatever. But yeah, this is a cool, neat idea. Definitely the triple Biovore. Good lord, that's amazing. You just put all of those guys on the objective. That's sick. Yeah, awesome. Fire Drake, thanks for hanging out in Discord all the time. It's cool to see you interact with everybody, and thanks for submitting this list, man. Okay, glue smells bad. Everybody, it does smell bad, and trust me, don't check it out. Yeah, don't try to prove this guy wrong. Sam, how am I feeling about the Assimilation Swarm buffs? I think that Games Workshop really wants us to play Assimilation Swarm. I think they're actually very good. I think something that could be really bad for it is like indirect, because my idea is now including like 1 or 2 Ripper Swarms that can just be places, and they just regenerate each turn and allow to give those buffs, and they're just completely out of line of sight. All they do is just regenerate your guys every single turn, and then that is it. I think it makes the Tyrant Guard build even better, especially because they went down in points. And I think 1 Norn Assimilator is something to try. I'm not sure it is the best, but I think it is definitely something that people will try. I think the idea is you're going to have to damage check your opponent, and it's either are you damage checking them with a big Norn Assimilator, like 1 big monster, or are you damage checking them with like 2 tanky bricks with like Swarm Lord and the Hive Tyrant with the Tyrant Guard. And then I think you kind of, once you figure that out, you probably should develop your game plan around that. And then I think that the thing that I haven't decided yet, because I haven't been able to play Assimilation Swarm too much, is it's got to be a fine balance between how many Harvester units you're running and how many, I don't want to say this meanly, how many good units you're running. Because Assimilation Swarm, it's weird because the units that the detachment cares about are actually buffing the units that don't run in theme with the detachment, if that makes sense, in my opinion. So you have to find that balance, because you're going to have to check the box of running Harvester units, but I personally don't want to check that box too many times. I think it is one of those detachments that could be very strong, but you need a lot of play testing. Hope that makes sense. It's kind of my thought process. And probably the reason why I was able to ramble that off so quickly is I'm making a video on Assimilation Swarm. It's a little sneak peek. All right, cool. Thanks for hanging out with us, Sam. Appreciate you being here. Let's take a look at this guy's first list. Here's my first ever Tyranid list that I have, just about mostly built. Very cool. I don't imagine it's very good / competitive, but the shenanigans seem very, very silly. Might drop the Screamer Killer for another X-Crane at some point, by the way. I agree. think you should do that. Yeah, Sam. Thanks, man. Vanguard Onslaught. Okay, we have Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant, Neurotyrant, Turvagon. Wow, Turvagon in Vanguard Onslaught. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look. We have Hormagaunts, 60 Termagants. Oh my gosh. Exocrine, Lictor, Neurolictor, 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 Raveners, Screamer Killer, Tyrannifex. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I know you're on Vanguard Onslaught. Okay, he didn't say anything like specifically that he wanted to run Vanguard Onslaught. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this list immediately gets better if you just run it in Invasion. If you just switch it in Invasion, find the points for the Adaptive Biology. Let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna check how many points is Hunting Grounds, and then we're gonna see if we can kind of pivot on this list, and I hope that's okay, and see if we can make a good Invasion list. So Hunting Grounds, of course, we're not going to take because, well, it's not going to be in the detachment. So that is 20 points. I just checked. So we're going to have 20 points. Yeah, Wuffle, you're in here too, man. Wuffle, 20 points to play with so far. And we have one Exocrine. I would agree with another Exocrine would be sweet. Triple Termagants. And we are absolutely going to leave the Turvagon because if you put a Turvagon in the list, it's for a reason. I feel like it. It's not because you... I feel like Turvagons are pretty sweet, but they just don't have a home yet. I do really like the Spine Fist, though. I think it's pretty sweet. Another thing that's kind of sad about the Turvagon is because the Turvagon and the Hive Tyrant kind of took over the Turvagon. You know? Because the Hive Tyrant offers lethals. So does the Turvagon now. I guess it can allow for like 2 different blobs. Okay, so we have 20 points. I think we want to, I'm chill with one Neurolictor, but I think, and I apologize if this is not the way your list wanted to go, but I'm just trying to give you a little bit of advice from what I feel like you have, because I know you're saying you're kind of new, which is awesome. I think we want to cut 2 Neurolictors, especially if we're going Invasion. And I think your collection right now is slated more towards Invasion as opposed to Vanguard Onslaught, which is fine. So we have 200 points already. And I did like your idea of cutting the Screamer Killer for an Exocrine. So if that's on our game plan, I think we should do that. So let's see what that looks like. So this is 145 points. That means we're at 345. But I'm really just going to put it at 210 because we're going to go up here and we're just going to copy this and put a second Exocrine immediately. Cool. So we're at 210 points. Things that I want to do. Another thing that I like about this is since we have the Neurotyrant already, I actually really like Zoanthropes instead of Tyrannifexes, especially if we're going the Swarm route. And that's for a couple of reasons. It's going to give the Termagants the 6-up Emblem, which actually does come up. And then they're just a good gun, you know? So let's do that. Zoanthropes times 6 instead of Tyrannifex. Of course, I love the Tyrannifex, but I think at this point, I think Zoanthropes are going to be a little bit more helpful. So that means we're right at 200 because Zoanthropes are just 10 more points than the Tyrannifex. And at this point, we can go shopping. I think at this point, and I mean that by saying we can fill the list with kind of support pieces for our Swarm, which is kind of sweet. So things that I'm looking for, and I'm also going to probably cut these guys in half, just have 2 3-mans instead of 1 6-man. I think that kind of makes sense. Doesn't really change our point total at all, but it just helps us with that. We're going to want an additional Lictor. So that will be at 140 points. 140 points. And then this is a list. I know we talked about Venom Throats before. We definitely want to run Venom Throats in this. 70 points. So then we are at 70. Okay. And then I think the last tech piece, we have once again gotten down to the 70, 80 point tech piece. And it's kind of like whatever you want to flex with our scoring. In my opinion, I think I want Von Ryan's Leapers at this point. And let me tell you why. I'm just going to put VRL. Oh, no enhancements yet in this one. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was a great shout. So 70 points, we're going to have to. This guy has got to have adaptive biology for sure. So that's going to be 25 points. So a couple of things we can look at. So that would bring us down to 45 points. So that severely limits the stuff that we are going to be able to put out. But I do think a Pyrovore does kind of slot pretty well into this to help with the AP2 off of that. And then I think that is honestly a pretty good list. That's kind of where I would take your collection, if that makes sense. Kind of where I would run with whatever you have started with. It's not a bad core, but I definitely think, oh, it's no Biovore too? Oof, okay. Yeah, you're right. Then at this point, I think, so let's back it up. Thank you, chat. My eyes sees, I see a Tyranid list and I assume, which is wrong with me. So at this point, I do think we trim one of the Ravener squads. 45 plus 75 equals 120. And then we do a Biovore here. And then that should be at 70 points. And then we can fit the Von Ryans. Von Ryans are exactly at 70. Okay. I hope I did that right. Okay. And the reason why I like VRLs in this is you can kind of deploy them out front and then force people to come kill them. Or if you go first, your Von Ryans just go up and move block your opponent. So then it allows you one turn to have all of this stuff just go into your opponent. The triple Termagant, 60 Termagant squads, and just really be in your opponent's face. This is kind of one of those lists where I think you probably are okay just slamming everything up front. Because you're going to definitely get one regrow here from the Termagant, and then you're going to get 2 regrows from the Stratagem every single turn. It's pretty sick. So you're able to regrow every single one of these Termagant squads. Also going to give one of them a 5-up Feel No Pain. And then they're going to be -1 to hit from the Venom Throats and cover. And then if they still have AP, if they're going high AP into the Termagants, then they have a 6-up Invuln as well from the Zoanthropes. I'm actually really excited. I was talking to Malevolent Swarm about this, I think, earlier. Yeah, you're true. You're right, Mayrose. That I really am excited about playing like a swarm list like this. I agree with you, Lil Mayrose. The only thing is you could cut the Death Leaper, and then we could do stuff like upgrade this to Gargoyles if we wanted for a deep strike threat, or have the 6-man Ravener stick around. I think Death Leaper is okay on his own, but I think I agree with you. I think he is probably a slightly suboptimal pick, but it is what it is. It's okay. Let's see what with 90 points. Is he 90 points or is he 80 points? I think he's 80 points. What would I do? I would, with 80 points. Fire Jake, we went over your Crusade stuff. We thought it was really cool. The triple Biowar is sweet, man. Thanks for being here, dude. With 80 points, I would get. See, we're always at this like tech piece level with Tyranids. With 80 points, you could definitely get Raveners. You could get 2 Pyrovores, which would be sweet. Or you could do 1 Pyrovore, upgrade the Hormagaunts, and then do like perfectly adapted on the Turvagon. Also, there's a good argument to put adaptive biology on the Turvagon instead of the Hive Tyrant and just make the Turvagon impossible to kill. It could just be disgusting. Yeah, but cool. Thanks for submitting your list. A pretty new player, and we appreciate it. Before we move on, I don't think we're going to get to it today, just because this is the last list. But we were doing a super chat goal with 5 super chats with the teal color. I'm not really sure what YouTube is doing. We're not going to do it today, I don't think, just because it is getting a little bit, well, I don't know. But we'll roll it over to the next time we stream, and it's probably going to be next Thursday because of the holidays. We will see. If we reach that goal, Chat and I, we're going to make a list on stream. So that's what I'm excited about. Probably happening next time around, but we'll see. If you're hanging out in here and you're liking the stream, like the stream. It actually helps us out a bunch. When live feeds get re-uploaded, the views are a little bit weird on them. So liking it definitely really helps making it, making our rambling reach the masses. I just realized I hadn't even liked the stream. So be better than me. Anyways, okay. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. This is our last stream. This is Woofle. And I think he is in chat. Everybody's saying that Turvagon is 175. Yes, this was originally a Vanguard Onslaught list that had Turvagon with Hunting Grounds. So I think it auto-populated as 195 instead of 175. So you guys are all correct. But that's why. Good catch. Chat's smart. Chat's good. All right. Here's something a little spicy for you. A 2,000 point invasion fleet list with no tyrants and no battle line. Each of the 2 Gene Sealer bricks will aim for a different mid objective. 1 Maliceptor, which I'll deploy last. Cool. Will provide backup to one of these groups. Okay, so you're kind of like deciding which group it is going on. The acid effects in the second Maliceptor will aim for the 3rd middle objective. Each group should be able to take the objective from battle line units pretty easily. So I hopefully don't need any battle line units. The 3 Exocrines, wow, this list is going to be beefy. 3 Exocrines and 2 Rupture Effects will provide range backup. Whenever Rupture Effects needs to move, I'll try to move it towards one of the mid objectives to help provide pressure. The Pyrovore will do Pyrovore things. Pyrovore will do Pyrovore things. Very cool. The Lictor will do Lictor things. Okay. Ooh, and my face is in the way. Here, let's try and... Oh, I can just... Hold on. 1 second. All right. Okay. Okay, so we have 2 Broodlords, perfectly adapted, and Broodlord 10, yep. Triple Exocrine, double Maliceptor, triple Tyrannifex, Biovore, Lictor, and Lictor. All right. So here's the thing. I agree. It is spicy. And I think that there are some armies that are just not going to be able to hang with this. You will just absolutely decimate these. With all of that damage. That's crazy. Oh, let's see what I'm considering swapping an Exocrine for Raveners and a 3rd Lictor, but I do love the big bugs. I would probably agree with that. I think if we're gonna go and we're fully gonna commit to the no Hive Tyrant and no Gargoyles or something, I think we do have to lose 1 bug for scoring pieces. And let's see. I think I do like the double Maliceptor plan, and then the acid effects is pretty sweet for in the center. I think I do like 3rd Lictor plus Raveners minus the Exocrine. Let's see what else we could do. Another thing we could do is maybe trim the acid, but I do like the Overwatch for just heading out to the middle. See, it's always tough because like there's things that I personally would do, but obviously, Waffle, you have thought out exactly what you want to do, and it seems like it's going to be a pretty successful plan. However, the one thing that I am going to agree with you on is, especially in Pariah Nexus, the game is all about actions. There's a lot of actions that you're gonna just have to do, and being stuck with doing an action with an exocrine or doing action with a maleceptor is really really tough. And personally, what I would probably do if I was playing against you is I would really try to kill these two lictors and pyrovores, because then that's going to put you off of those units, and then it's probably also going to put you off of one or two units in addition, or tank it, or tank your secondary play. Because if you don't have lictor or pyrovore or anything like that, then it's going to be tough. And that's why that's why some people don't play these kinds of builds, is because we do get to that spot where it can be tough like this. However, it is super cool, and you're going to kill like everything that you look at because of all of this beef. And Zage, you did. Welcome to live stream. We are wrapping up, but this one was a good one for sure. If you want to go back and watch the rest, that would be amazing. So I agree with you. I think starting with cutting an exocrine and putting in third lictor. Oh no, that stings, Sage. A third lictor and then Raveners. I think Raveners are actually an excellent play because, I don't want to try to even change your no Hive Tyrant, no battle line shtick. But I think having Raveners into Deep Strike and be somewhere is really good. And Fire Drake says, gotta have bodies to cleanse, sabotage, etc. Just hard to throw a bunch of Norns and T-Fix. I agree with you, man. If I could run triple Norn all the time and not even worry about it, it would be incredible. But Waffle, again, I appreciate that you have like a well thought out plan with this list. And even though I probably would run Battle Line and Hive Tyrants just to round out the list a little bit more, that's not what you're doing. And I think that is sweet as well. Chainsaw Biceps said, over the weekend, I whiffed my 4 shots on my rupture cannon and feel devastated. Anyways, I'm thinking of running 6 Tyrant Guard with Swarmlord and Crusher. It's not worth the points. I don't know. I think Tyrant Guard and Swarmlord and Assimilation Swarm is pretty sweet because you get to regrow them. And they're still pretty durable. I think Crusher Stampede, if you can either have 6 Tyrant Guard or basically an exocrine, right? And me personally, I would just hide my Swarmlord, and then have an extra exocrine, and just not let my Swarmlord be exposed, if that makes sense. But I keep running Tyrannifexes. They do really cool things. Okay. Anyways, everybody, like the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out. We got 23 people in here. Just want to plug a couple of things. We're 2 super chats away. We'll probably do our next stream. We will do the chat creates a list with me. Since we're at the end of the stream, I'm not asking people to do it now. I'm sure it'll happen next time. Watch us Wednesday. I'm not going to be on stream this Wednesday, but it's going to be a really cool live stream. And then join the Discord in our announcements channel. There's a giveaway for a free Imperial Knights Battle Force box, one of the holiday boxes. So if you want to have, a chance to have free Imperial Knights, even if you're a Tyranid player, and if you want to hang out with a really cool community in our Discord, you should join our Discord. It will be in the description, and if it's not there because I'm dumb, it will be on our YouTube channel, one of the links there. So come hang out with us. We got a bunch of people talking about bugs and other things all the time. You are very welcome, Waffle. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me tonight. And stay cool. I'll see you next time. See ya.